Welcome to 20 Days of Halloween, 20 Days of Horror Movies. This is the final entry into the series, and I appreciate you coming by to check it out. So, it is All Hallows Eve today, and is there any more appropriate movie to talk about on Halloween than Jingle All the Way? Yeah, there is, and it is John Carpenter's 1978 seminal film, Halloween. So I've been working on a slashers episode of Movie Monsters, and in part of it, in the beginning, I explored the history of this particular genre, and you can trace it back to several movies predating Halloween, but this movie really set the template going forward for what a slasher film is. And John Carpenter has become one of the most influential and revered directors of all time, which is great because John Carpenter is this interesting mix of kind of high concept and intelligent stuff and kind of trashy exploitation exploitation movies, and he's kind of merged these two worlds, and he's become a defining voice for this entire genre. So 1978's Halloween is remembered as, this kind of gory, bloody, murder-filled movie. And to tell you the truth, it's a lot slower paced than what you would get with a Friday the 13th or something like that. And in the original Halloween, the kills aren't all that gory. There's not a lot of blood shown in the movie, which, there is definitely violent acts pulled out. And the fact that they're able to make it so, the fact that Carpenter and crew are able to make it so visceral without showing us tons of blood and gore is a real credit to the film. Obviously, this takes place in Haddonfield. A young Michael Myers catches his sister having sex and murders them. Well, he is taken to a mental institute where he is watched over by a Dr. Loomis. And then years and years later, Michael breaks out of this mental institute and returns to his hometown to finish off a killing spree that he started many years ago. In the first movie, Michael Myers is referred to as the Shape. He's this mysterious character, and other than that small amount of details that's revealed in the movie, we really don't get to know this character, which is a huge difference between this and Rob Zombie's movie, which kind of tries to make Michael Myers some sort of anti-hero. And this one, he's a predator. He's almost like Jaws. He stalks his victims around this neighborhood and very much devises a plan on what he's going to do for Halloween night and executes it nearly perfectly, except for a girl named Laurie Strode, who kind of became the template for the final girl. She's played by Jamie Lee Curtis. She's brunette. She's doesn't party as hard as the other girls and kind of feels like an outsider. She's a virgin. She kind of represents the purity and the morality of this movie. And Michael Myers kind of wants to corrupt that in some ways. Like, it's never stated that, but that's, essentially what ends up happening. So the whole movie is leading to this point where each of these girls is in separate houses babysitting for the evening while there is a masked killer stalking them down and killing them at their most vulnerable moments. I'm sure you've seen Halloween, so I'm going to talk to you about it as if you have. If you haven't, why are you watching a review on it first? Go check out the movie. If you're a fan of horror, you should have seen the movie. Anyways, I'm not going to guilt trip you anymore. Let's talk about the technical aspects of Halloween. So as I said, this movie is directed by John Carpenter, who also did the score. And John Carpenter is such a great composer of scary movie music. So many of his themes are incredibly iconic, and especially the Halloween theme. So I always really enjoy listening to the score as I'm watching the movie. Carpenter's actually went on to tour with his music. So yeah, a great musician, somebody that I really respect in the world of kind of scoring movies. Robert Rodriguez is another one, but but I've digressed. Another thing that the original Halloween utilizes is a bunch of long takes in wide shots, which gives you the impression it's like a very voyeuristic view, and Michael is always kind of just lurking outside of the frame watching, and the way that the camera sweeps and moves, you really get that feeling. The acting in Halloween isn't great, let's be honest, but it's enough to sell these characters and make Laurie likable, you know? They were very young when they did this, and, you know, she went on to be a very respected actress, but this is very early in her career. So, as I said, this really does set the template for the slasher film moving forward, and Friday the 13th, it got its title ripping off Halloween. I mean, this is one of the most imitated horror movies of our time. You know, it's scary. It's able to be scary. A lot of the kills are inventive, and the scene with the couple that just had sex and then she comes into the room and he's dressed like a ghost with the glasses on. Iconic. So many of the scenes in this movie have just stuck in the cultural zeitgeist. On a scale of 1 to 5, I'm giving the original Halloween a 4 out of 5. Quintessential viewing for horror fans. Thank you so much for coming by and checking out these movie reviews. If you haven't seen them all, then go back and watch them. There's plenty of stuff to enjoy. Hopefully I can give you some recommendations of what to watch, even if it's next Halloween. It's been cool to go and visit some of these movies as well as revisit others for the sake of coming and talking to you about it. So let's use that comment section and start a conversation. If you enjoyed any of these reviews, do me a favor, slash that like button down there. It really helps my weak and fragile self-esteem. If you want to catch more content, more terrible movie reviews and trailer reactions and everything else, then all you got to do is click subscribe, followed by the bell to enable notifications. I'm Jeremy. Be terrible.